and call this meeting to order. The Polk County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, April 14th. Extra copies of this agenda are on the back table. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up on the agenda is public comment. Would anybody in the room or online like to address the board at this time? Seeing none, I'm looking for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up is approval of minutes of April 7th.
Moved.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we have Charter Communications with us today. Chris Madden, please come forward.
Good morning, members of the board. Thanks for having me this morning. My name is Chris Madden. I'm Director of State Government Affairs with Charter Communications, also known as Spectrum. And as part of Charter's effort to extend our current franchise with the County Council Morgan asked me to provide a brief overview of our work in the county over the last few years. So I'll cover a little bit of what we've accomplished over the last few years, what we're working on now and will be completed this year, as well as what our subscribers can look forward to in the coming years. And I do want to note kind of at the outset that there are some limitations to what I can share in a public setting, but that said, I do think I have some good updates for you today that will hopefully be meaningful for the board. Over the past 2 years, 2024, 2025 calendar years, we've significantly enhanced connectivity across Polk County, adding more than 2,500 new passings. This is part of our nationwide rural construction initiative. Includes deployment of nearly 500,000 feet of fiber optic cable throughout the county, helping bring high speed and reliable service to more homes and businesses. In 2026, we are continuing that momentum with just under 300 additional passings planned. Over 130 of those were activated just last month in March. The rest we actually broke ground on about 2 weeks ago, and those should be complete in July timeframe. So over the summer, a key priority for us this year is strengthening the resiliency of our network in the county with a fully redundant fiber path. This strategic investment will enhance reliability, reduce downtime, and elevate the overall experience for our customers here. Essentially, it just ensures that if one part of our network goes down, our subscribers are not significantly impacted with limited or no downtime. Altogether, our 2026 construction efforts will include the installation of more than 100,000 feet of fiber, further reinforcing our commitment to Polk County and being here in the long term. We've also completed our local construction for Spectrum's nationwide network evolution initiative, a transformative upgrade designed to deliver symmetrical gigabit speeds across the country for our entire footprint. That includes our existing customers and new customers. Customers in Polk County can expect some initial activations this year with the remainder of those activations over the next couple of years. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Chris. Just have a couple just to get us started.
Yeah, go for it.
This is a hot topic in Polk County right now. Commissioner Pope initiated broadband expansion efforts in rural Polk County several years ago. And we just received an update last week, and Dean Anderson, who you may be familiar with, he works with us on these broadband issues, identified roughly 400 locations in the northwest corner of the county. They did receive Starlink contracts through the BEAD program. Mm-hmm. But, we want to ensure that folks have the best available technology to them. So I'm just curious, Dean will be reaching out to ISP to convene a meeting to discuss options, both grant options and kind of what our ISPs are intending. Mm-hmm. Can I get a commitment from you that you will respond to that email and perhaps engage with Dean?
Absolutely, 100% we'll be there. I do want to note that we did not apply for BEAD in Oregon, so that's kind of a separate issue for us. But we're happy to engage with the county on any of that work.
Yeah, and those awards have already been announced, so there could be other opportunities. Just curious about that. I think that concludes.
You said that was Northwest.
Yeah. I think that's all I have for now.
You said 2,500 passes. Do you break that down on how many of those are urban versus rural?
So this is, that number is only just Polk County excluding the city of Dallas. So I would assume a vast majority of those would be in the rural areas. Our passings per mile were pretty significantly lower than normal for us. So it was primarily rural construction.
And let's help me with passings. Define that word for me, just for the
Addresses,
Yeah. So
a building,
passings mean you've gone by them.
I believe that would be where it comes from
You
initially.
haven't
Yes.
connected them. You've,
No, they would be connected.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And that means they're actually live on with service.
It doesn't mean they've subscribed. It means they can call and get service within, I think it's a 24-hour period.
Yeah. So I hear that term passings used a lot, and that doesn't actually mean they're connected service. It just means that it's available to them.
It is available to them, correct?
So can you tell me what the number of actual connections that you've made in the last 2 years?
I don't believe I'm allowed to share that in this setting.
Everybody else does, but.
Yeah, I have limitations on what I'm allowed to say here today.
And that's where my problem comes with your company.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to know where you are in the road, or in the right of way, and never could get that. Would like to get right of way challenges fixed where you guys have been in the wrong place. In fact, have dug line in next to asphalt and in some places, right actually in the roadway, some of our gravel roads. But it would be nice as we've been working on this, trying to get people connected over the last 5 years, 6 years, where are you and how many are you actually connecting? So we can see, how many folks we still have waiting to get connected. It's been a huge issue for us. And again, the two companies that we're working with right now that we've actually helped fund have been very transparent about all that. We know where they are. We know, exactly where they are as far as being in the right of way. In most cases, they're overhead. But it's been very helpful for us to be able to work together as partners in that way. Here you guys are, I think you're the only franchise fee organization. Am I right on that one, Greg? Is there another one?
I believe so.
Yeah, asking for an extension. We don't ever hear from you. We ask these questions, and I don't mean to be critical, but I just need you to hear. And for the benefit of consumers, because I do hear from consumers that are saying, boy, this service is not good. And the responses we get to troubleshooting are not good. Public work folks that say, difficult crews in the field, difficult locations. And then, we know you have passings, but we don't know that you have connections. And that would be nice as we're trying to find ways to help solve the connectivity issues we have in Polk County. And we've made great strides, come a long way. And you guys are right here in the middle of it. And we don't know who you are or what you're doing. Yet I'm in a place right now where I have to say something about a franchise agreement extension. I mean, again, that's a challenge for me. What I'd like for you to deliver back to the folks that you work with that, you guys are a ghost to us. And we see your vehicles around, and we see, the complaints from folks. I'd like to see a lot more people saying, charter's the only way to go. I don't see that. And so while I appreciate the franchise agreement it's a formality, it's a step we have to go through. I got to tell you, if we had to start this from scratch right now, I'd say, boy, I'm not very compelled, to have a franchise agreement with a company that's been this difficult to get information from. So again, I know it's not your fault. I know you're told certain things you can do, and this is not my first rodeo with your company. Yeah. I've been doing this broadband work for a long time, and so I'm familiar with that statement. And when Dean told me that you were interested in coming forward, I said, "Oh, great! This will be a great opportunity for us to get some answers about what's the plan." I mean, initially, I will tell you that I'm doing this somewhat for the record. That your company said you don't need to worry about us applying for anything or need to get any help. I'm paraphrasing financially because we're going to do it all. We're covering all of Oregon. Polk County, corner to corner. Those were exact words. Corner to corner, probably before you started, I don't know. But so we see you come out, see your company come out, trench in orange line, but that's kind of where we see it end. And I'd like to get more information about how many folks do you actually have connected? You know, who's getting service, who's paying you for it? So, you know, if there's any way to get that kind of stuff, it sure would be helpful.
No, I hear you, Commissioner Pope. I really do. So I will plead the newbie card. I started about a year and change ago with Charter. I apologize. You have not heard from us. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm now your contact. Morgan has my contact information. I'm happy to share that with you. And there is more information that we can share kind of in different settings. That said, I do apologize for any sort of issues we've had with the right-of-way sort of work. I want to do more follow-up on that and figure out what are your issues. Most importantly, just frankly, that communication piece is a frustrating thing for me.
Yeah.
That's my role now. I take ownership over that. We will right that wrong in terms of communicating with y'all and making sure you know what's going on and get any of your questions answered. As far as any subscribers that are having any issues, we're continually working to improve those services. I think you heard today that we're doing a lot of work, not just those new passings, but that fiber resiliency, the redundant path. That is a very, very significant investment for us in Polk County. I can't speak to, you know, what has happened in years past prior to my time significantly. I have a little bit of background, but frankly, not nearly as much as you just shared with me right there. But you have my commitment that as far as my work is concerned and my communication with the county, I will be available.
Thank you for being here, Chris. And as you can see, there has been a years-long buildup of needed communication.
Yeah.
I have a couple more questions for you and appreciate your commitment to engage with Dean Anderson, Commissioner Pope, and others to shore up what we've been trying to do for many years in Polk County, which is make sure all of our underserved and unserved locations are taken care of. So one effort we have undergone is to make sure we have service to our community acre institutions, schools, fire stations, et cetera. There are a couple on the list that you all could potentially serve but are not currently. Polk County Fire District 1 at the Buena Vista site, at the Kings Valley site, same institution, and then Chemeketa Community College on Dokes Ferry. Just curious if you would be able to follow up on that as well to ensure those anchor institutions are served. And I'm not sure.
Can you share the second one again? I'm sorry, I got the first and third. Polk County Fire District.
Yeah, there's let's see, Polk County,
Buena Vista,
Buena Vista, and the sorry, I got it right here, Kings Valley, Highway.
Got it.
And who knows, they may have some sort of service. I don't know, but we got a pretty recent data point here from Dean Anderson, and they are not currently. And just to shed a little light on the folks doing work in right-of-ways, complaints I received directly as a commissioner were, hey, there's an unmarked van digging in our property. There was no advance notice to affected addresses and residents. And the folks, I think, spoke Russian, which is, there's no knock on that, but they were able to communicate with the folks to be assured that what was happening was legitimate or not. So that's kind of a specific you asked for there. Yeah. So that's all I have. On the franchise agreement itself, can you explain why you're asking for an extension at this point in time?
So our franchise agreement, I believe, expires in
October of this year.
October of this year. So several months ahead of time, we just like to get ahead of it and make sure that we're current on our franchise agreements as much as possible.
Okay. I'll have more questions on that once we see it.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
No, sir.
Well, thanks for your time, and we will be in touch.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Yep. All right, do we have any non-listed items?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, need for an executive session.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, the board will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192-660 sub 2 H to consider or to consult with individuals appointed by the board to conduct labor relations and also to, review information exempt from public records law.